first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Apply at matson.com. Cars Plus, Guam's automotive leader in sustainability and electric vehicles. Learn more at carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime.
The CNMI braces for impact. I'm Tomas Manglonia with the latest on storm preparations here in the CNMI, speaking with leadership on Rota, Tinian, Saipan, and the Northern Islands, all about what you need to know as it approaches.
GPA crews were out and about today clearing out vegetation. We spoke to one of the crews. We'll have details coming right up.
And could Guam be in the clear? Your news team scours the island to see how the community is hunkering down. Many still getting over the devastation left behind Mawar just 5 months back.
Half-a-day and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Thank you so much for starting your week here with us.
Well, Des, just before coming on the air, Governor Lulian Guerrero announcing that at 10 o'clock this evening, Guam will be placed in condition of readiness 1. We'll have more details on that on KUAM.com. But Des, this is going to be a close one. At least that's the word coming from local meteorologists since they've been tracking the developments of Tropical Storm Bolivin. Typhoon warnings now in place for Guam and the CNMI. President Joe Biden declaring that an emergency exists in Guam and ordered federal assistance to supplement territory and local response efforts due to the emergency conditions resulting from the storm.
The president's action authorizes the Department of Homeland Security and FEMA to coordinate all disaster relief efforts and to provide appropriate assistance for required emergency measures to save lives and to protect property and public health and safety and to lessen or avert the threat of a catastrophe here. Now, the White House noting specifically FEMA is authorized to identify, mobilize, and provide at its discretion equipment and resources necessary to alleviate the impacts of the emergency. Emergency protective measures limited to direct federal assistance under the Public Assistance Program will be provided at 75% federal funding. Meantime, residents in Guam, Rota, Tinian, and Saipan on alert. Now, the preparations happening since we learned of the bad weather headed our way late last week. Lines already spotted at gas stations on Guam. Crowds at each island putting up their shelters and shoppers spending the days getting the much needed supplies and materials to wait out the storm.
The exact impact, it's now a waiting game to see if Bolivin continues its northward track or makes any changes. One thing is certain, the storm is coming to the Marianas. Tonight, your KUAM News team is covering Tropical Storm Bolivin from all angles. And our Eye on Recovery team coverage begins with Guam National Weather Service meteorologist Landon Eidlet. He joins us now in our Harmon studios to bring us the latest on the storm. Okay, Landon, how are you doing first and foremost?
I'm doing well. It's been a very, very busy weekend.
Right, I'm sure. Now, the word on the street is Tropical Storm Bolivin. So what's the latest? Can you give us an update?
Yeah, the latest on Bolivin was around 2 o'clock this afternoon. We put out our advisory number 9 at 2 o'clock this morning, and it was still on approach to the Mariana Islands. It is intensifying now with maximum sustained winds of 65 miles per hour. That's almost typhoon force. That begins at 74 miles per hour. We're going to see that intensification trend continue through the evening, overnight. It could become a typhoon overnight and steadily intensify as it approaches the Mariana Islands over the next 24 hours. So we are concerned about it having some rapid intensification that could happen upon its final approach to the Mariana Islands, likely with a passage through the CNMI sometime tomorrow evening and tomorrow night.
All right.
You said the possibility of it becoming a storm by the time it reaches us. What is that possibility? Is it a small window, or are we looking at or could it still just be a storm, a tropical storm?
Yeah, it'll definitely be a typhoon at its time of passage through the CNMI. We are looking at the maximum impact of conditions. That will be probably either Rota, Tinian, or Saipan. The latest trends have been following a gradual northward shift closer and closer to Tinian and Saipan. If that continues, the islands of Tinian and Saipan could be seeing Category 2 type typhoon conditions. Those are maximum sustained winds of 95 to 110 miles per hour. And just for communicating that, that would be similar to Typhoon Dolphin in May of 2015, which was a passage through the Rota Channel. Typhoon Mangkhut, which directly struck Rota back in 2018, was a Category 3.
Oh, wow. Well, you know, in our group chats, we've been seeing all day the typhoon is not going to hit us. It's going to miss us. So what would you say to people to, you know, ensure them and advise them, do not let your guard down?
You know, that I cannot underscore that enough. While we can breathe a little bit easier here in Guam, we didn't want to direct hit by anything at this point after suffering from Typhoon Mawar. But this storm's, we're going to feel it. There's a lot of showers, a lot of thunderstorms, a lot of gusty winds spiraling into this tropical storm, especially on the southern side of that system. That's all from the monsoon that's surging across the Republic of Palau, Yap State, and coming up into this tropical cyclone. We will be feeling the punch. We are expecting tropical storm force conditions. Those are sustained winds of 39 to 73 miles per hour. That will still wreck a day. We're also expecting upwards of a foot of rain across Guam. As this system moves through, that's a lot of rainfall in a short period of time. So plan accordingly. Again, don't let your guard down for tropical storm. They can still pack a punch. And any southward shift in this current forecast track, which could still happen, would bring stronger winds to Guam.
Do you guys, as meteorologists, or the guys over at the National Weather Service, been able to pinpoint what is that probability that it might shift, it might wiggle south?
You know, that's always a possibility as far as exact percentages.
Right.
That's a pretty good spread in the models, but the forecast models, an ensemble of many members, do favor a gradual northward shift. It really has its eyes set on Tinian and Saipan, but we're watching that observed data coming from the Himawari satellite. That's what's giving us that bird's eye view from what's actually happening from outer space. We're going to be watching that. The position from Joint Typhoon Warning Center has a medium confidence level because it's been clouded over with a central dense overcast. So you really can't get a good shot at the low-level circulation center. As this thing starts improving its condition and shape and form, yeah, we'll have a better feeling for where it's going.
Right.
What's the biggest concern coming out of the National Weather Service when it comes to this storm?
Yeah, my biggest concern is, first off, that rapid intensification. If our forecasts are favoring a Category 1 passage, if we have enough period of rapid intensification, we could be dealing with a high-end Category 2 storm or Category 3 or more. So rapid intensification, that's never a good thing for anybody that's upstream of a landfalling tropical cyclone, but also that track deviation. Sometimes when these positions are not quite certain, that can affect the overall forecast track, its direction, its motion, and how close or far it may come to a certain island. So if there's any westward deviation from the current forecast, it could drift a little bit closer to us. So again, if there's ever a cyclone to our east, do not let your guard down. I can't say that enough. Do not let your guard down if there's something anywhere to our east.
Right. And you were saying a lot throughout the day, the little wiggles matter. Not the band, but I mean the band as well, but it's the little wiggles that really determine where it's going. So as you stated previously, we are still going to be feeling tropical storm conditions. So how can, especially after Mawar hit our island, how can people best prepare for the storm?
Yeah, just make sure you have food and water supplies on hand. I've seen a lot of lines at the grocery stores. Also fill your gas tanks. I know there are a lot of lines after Mawar, but also before this one, the lines have been packed at the gas stations, which is a great thing. Fill your extra gas tanks, make sure they're safe for gasoline, but make sure you have gas on hand because with any significant storm impact, it doesn't have to be a typhoon to knock out the power. So plan accordingly, but also make sure you have medication on hand and look out for your neighbors. This is our time to look out for people that live around us, our extended family, our relatives, the elderly especially. Give them attention, make sure they're well cared for and spoken for, and work with your mayor's office. If you have any needs, reach out to your mayors because they are the boots on the ground really working within their villages.
All very important advice, sir. Thank you for that, Landon. But I did want to ask and touch on how Mawar left the destruction here. It pretty much left our trees, our jungle area bare. That was what was most of what we saw in the aftermath. Could we be seeing that with the current track we're seeing with this tropical storm?
Yeah, you got to think that Mawar really cleaned out the jungles. It cleaned out a lot of the old and expanded limbs and trees that were aging. We probably won't have as much green debris as what we had during Mawar because it's a lesser intense storm, but the rains will saturate the soils. So those heavy rains that we're expecting over the next 24 to 36 hours, that will saturate the soils. We could have a lot of runoff, flash flooding, and those soils will be loose, and any trees getting caught in those winds could uproot. So that may be another concern with this system.
Yeah. Any other advice that you can give to our viewers here while we all kind of watch and wait together?
Yeah, stay out of the water. Because right now the seas and surf don't look too bad, but as this tropical cyclone approaches the Mariana Islands, those seas and surf associated with that tropical cyclone, they will rapidly build the waves out there, especially on east and northeast facing reefs. Once it passes, the winds are going to switch out from the southwest and the west, and so we're going to see the battering surf, those wind waves along most of our reefs and shores. So stay out of the water. We had a couple of incidents after Mawar, people getting caught in currents. We do not want that to happen. Stay out of the water, stay away from the reefs, stay away from the shores.
Yeah, and again, at the top of the newscast here, we said the governor is set to declare condition of readiness 1 late this evening. Can you share more insight on what that means?
Yeah, I believe that's going to be later this evening, and that's going to be shortly after our 8 o'clock advisory. That's advisory number 10. But that's for posturing to make sure that people know that your plans and your actions for preparedness should be wrapping up tonight. Tomorrow, we hunker down, we sit tight, and we ride it out as we do here on Guam.
Ride it out indoors.
Ride it out indoors. And I do want to mention the folks in the CNMI, they were there to support us after Mawar. This is our time to support them. If they're going to be dealing with a direct hit, this is our time to say thank you for taking care of us in Mawar. We're here to help you now.
Right. And what's the message that you want to send to our neighbors up in the CNMI?
Yeah, for the CNMI, we got your back. We will be looking out for you. We will be broadcasting from my office throughout the storm so that people are not wondering what's happening. That's the worst thing, is to have a pounding storm and you don't know what's happening, how much longer it's going to last. We're going to be broadcasting as long as we can, as long as we have communications, we have power, which we should. We will be looking out for the CNMI to make sure that they are prepared, that they're watching what's happening and not caught off guard.
Right.
Yeah. And speaking of power, that was a big concern during and after Mawar. Could the winds be strong enough to take out our own electricity?
Yeah, that's always a possibility.
Yeah.
Whether it's green debris, limbs, trees falling down from the neighboring trees near the power lines, that's always a possibility. Things happen. So do have those batteries on standby, the generators, and know how to use the generator properly. We don't want any casualties from carbon monoxide poisoning. That happens a lot of times in the States, and oftentimes there's more fatalities from carbon monoxide poisoning than from the actual storm.
Wow. Well, thank you again for sharing all of those updates. Again, now everything should be prepared. We are entering Core 1 by this evening, so everybody stay safe. Continue to watch out for those updates on KUAM, KUAM.com. All right. Well, Landon, thank you so much for coming in and giving us the latest on Tropical Storm Belaven. Again, continue to keep your eye out. Do not let your guard down. That is the message of today.
Thank you, Destiny.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Landon.
Thank you. All right, well, the CNMI could again take a direct hit from Belaven. President Joe Biden approved the CNMI's emergency declaration as Governor Arnold Palacios moved Saipan and Tinian to Typhoon Condition 2, and Rota remains in Typhoon Condition 3.
Regional correspondent Tomas Manglotnia reports from Saipan on the Marianas' wide preparation for Rota, Tinian, and Saipan and the Northern Islands.
The Northern Marianas braces for impact as Belaven is set to go through the Marianas. We spoke with authorities this morning on what you need to know to prepare.
We talked about those wiggles. This is what we were talking about. So we're seeing that continue. That is not necessarily good news for folks in Tinian and Saipan. This means that, as currently forecast, Tinian and Saipan could take a direct hit by either a Category 1 or a Category 2 typhoon at the time of passage.
The NMI is bracing for impact and preparing for Belaven's arrival as the community tracks its every move. A Category 1 typhoon means sustained winds range between 74 to 95 miles per hour, and Category 2 would bring sustained winds of 96 to 110 miles per hour. This afternoon, Governor Arnold Palacios declared Typhoon Condition 2 for Saipan and Tinian and Typhoon Condition 3 for Rota. Damaging winds are expected within 24 hours on Saipan and Tinian, while Rota faces the possibility of damaging winds within 48 hours. U.S. President Joe Biden also approved the NMI's emergency declaration, expanding FEMA's capabilities.
Right now, you should be preparing your home. That's the very most important thing. That I think our emergency management and the Red Cross want to emphasize that you need to be getting the food supply, getting your water supply, making sure all your vehicles and generators are topped off with fuel, making sure that all the loose debris around your home is cleared. This is a serious storm. The thing that the Weather Service, the term they like to use right now is rapid intensification. And that makes everybody nervous. So as this storm gets 12 to 24 hours away, anything could happen. It could just spin up and it could become a very, very destructive storm. So we really encourage everybody in the community to prepare.
The Red Cross says it has already deployed 6 generators to shelters on Saipan. Their team of volunteers is ready to support any recovery efforts on Rota and Tinian after the storm.
So we're all preparing now, securing our buildings and campuses, and our primary shelters are all being prepped and will be inspected prior to opening. Once we receive the official notice from the governor, from Governor Palacios, we will issue our official memo closing schools, opening shelters, and just advising the parents and the community about safety precautions.
Those shelters will open Monday at 6 p.m. Residents are expected to bring their own bedding, food, and drinks in the shelter. No pets are permitted in the shelter unless the pet is a certified service animal. An ID should be presented upon entry. The shelters are at the Marianas High School cafeteria, Culberville Elementary School cafeteria, Cagman High School cafeteria, on Tinian at the elementary school cafeteria, on Rota at the Sinapalo Office on Aging. For Saipan, the Office on Aging will also be open to accommodate persons with disabilities and those with medical needs. Transportation to the shelters is also available. The NMI Hospital will provide shelter for pregnant women who are at least 36 weeks pregnant or at risk for preterm labor during the typhoon.
We have not pushed out any assets at this time. It's just all coordinations with our teams there. For example, we have our personnel that we have listed on standby to respond and get onto the southern islands. So right now we are just in a positions where we're positioning our areas right in our own areas of responsibility, but we have not pushed it out yet.
Yep, and I'll just add to that. If immediate needs of survivors post-storm supersede that of the local government here, FEMA is postured. Our distribution center in Guam is prepared with life-saving, life-sustaining measures, food, water, tents, cots, and things of that nature. So we are postured and ready to support there as well.
Rota Mayor Aubrey Hokuk told KUAM, "We are ensuring that all safety and sanitary measures are in place in case Rota needs to respond to ensure the well-being of our people." Just before news of the typhoon, the Commonwealth Utilities Corporation approved emergency procurement for Rota power generation as the island currently has no backup power. Residents further north are also preparing. Northern Islands Mayor Valentino Tysican said, "I've been in constant communication with the residents since last week in preparation for the storm. Although the track of the storm is still uncertain, I advise them to remain in contact with Sinamai Emergency Operations Center." Tomas Manglonia, KUAM News, Saipan.
Thanks, Tomas. Back on Guam, for those in need of emergency shelter from Tropical Storm Bolaven, 6 shelters will open at 6 o'clock tonight. Island residents in the central, north, and southern part of the island can weather the storm at the following Guam Department of Education campuses. In the north, at Estumbo, Maria Ujoa, Machinaunau, and Upi elementary schools. In the central area, George Washington High School, and for southern residents, Talafofo Elementary School. Now, those seeking shelter are reminded to bring essential supplies with them if they plan to stay there, including 7-day supply of food and water for your family, bedding, personal hygiene products, medication, a 7-day supply for infant and toddlers, including diapers and formula, valid photo ID, important documents, including birth certificates, passports, medical immunization cards. Bus transportation now will be available beginning at 5:30 is when it started at your respective mayor's offices for those without reliable transportation or with a disability in need of a ride to the shelter. You are asked to contact your mayor, of course, for transportation information. Now, remember, if there are shelter rules to abide by, and you can see the full list on KUAM.com.
Now, flood-prone areas, across the region are being asked to take the necessary precautions. The north among the many still reeling from the impact of Typhoon Mawar. Tonight, we revisit those residents in Jigo that during times like these often find themselves underwater.
With the sun beaming high in the sky and not a single drop of rain in sight, it's hard to imagine this Jigo neighborhood on Tun Ramon Flores Street was nearly underwater just a few months ago. But back in May, when Typhoon Mawar struck the island, that was the case for resident Nilo Edrelinda and his family. Waters rising in this flood-prone area to almost 5 feet.
That's the way it goes here.
And with Tropical Storm Bolaven looming, they're now anything but calm before the storm.
Now we're all nervous now, preparing for the worst again. I hope not.
Edrelinda telling KUAM Typhoon Mawar was the worst case of flooding they had experienced. Waters rising in the dead of night, forcing them to evacuate through a window to hire shelter they built behind their main home.
During the typhoon, we use a ladder to go across because we cannot walk over here. It's already flooded. So from the window to their window over there, that's where we evacuate.
The water eventually taking 2 days to clear out. But even then, Nilo and his family finding all their belongings completely damaged by the storm. The Jigo residents now fearing all of the things they were able to replace get damaged again by this storm.
We don't know if it's going to be a worse typhoon again, or because we have experienced the last one, which is very, very difficult for us. So right now, we're putting everything on the high side now, even though if it's strong or not. And at night you can sleep because because the typhoon last time, it was dark when they came the water from there. See all the water from the mountain going over here and then go around here back.
Still, Nilo says despite the constant flooding, he doesn't think about relocating from this place and instead prefers to adapt to it.
Do you ever think about relocating because of the constant flooding?
Not yet. I don't think about that. I'm thinking about putting a second floor. I like the area because it's quiet. I can't find anything to go where. And I like this area, yeah.
So it's worth it?
Yes. It happened, 20 years or 15 years or 10 years.
Meanwhile, northern neighbor and Dededo Mayor Melissa Savara is preparing residents in her village for flooding, holding a sandbag distribution at her office today.
Residents were affording the opportunity for residents to pick up sandbags so they can put it out there as a protection, kind of like a block, and it'll cause the water to go elsewhere. And so we're preparing sandbags for residents in those areas that really, really need to block off their doors and prevent some flooding that comes into the homes.
The Joint Information Center reminds residents living in flood-prone areas to take action now, clear drainage areas and unblock storm drains to minimize flooding.
Guam Power Authority overhead crews were out in full force preparing for a potential storm. Bucket trucks were scattered all across the island, clearing up overgrown vegetation beneath power lines. Nestor Lecanto reports.
We caught up with one of the overhead line crews deep in the village of Agana Heights. The three-man team of Kyle Seguenza, Ed Garrido, and Matt Tovis could be seen cutting away the thick brush that could drag down power lines if the winds whip up from often residents who know that not clearing the overgrowth could mean longer restoration times. Superintendent of the Overhead Division, Jesse Cruz, says about 8 different crews are scattered all across the island clearing vegetation.
They're all strategically placed in critical areas and also areas reported by our dispatch as critical. It's important because of the to keep the lines clear because of when the winds come, they won't wreak havoc on our lines, and we can concentrate on more other areas that we didn't get to. Our crews dedicated, hardworking, and motivated to keep the power on or restored as quickly as possible if the storm does pass.
Keeping the power on for as long as possible and restoring it when it goes down as quickly as they can are a top priority. and it often means spending many hours away from their own families during natural disasters. Crew says they do their home protection and preparation ahead of time.
We do that way before the storm comes.
And what is how does your family adapt to it?
Our families are trained to take care of the things that we can during work while we're at work, and then we help out days before.
And you thank them for their understanding, of course?
Of course.
GPA also issued some readiness tips. They include secure lightweight objects and anchor down any items that may become airborne. Those who depend on electric-powered life support systems should have a backup generator and unplug appliances to protect them from sudden outages or power fluctuations. Nestor Lecanto, KUAM News.
Thanks, Ness. Well, from north to south, lines are building at the pumps already. Whether it's to power your cars or to power your generators, many of you making those preparations before the storm gets closer. Mitsuki Hirayama continues our team coverage, checking out the gas stations in the central part of the island.
From Mobil to Shell to 76 Circle K, cars crowding the pumps since the weekend.
Even yesterday, the first gas station I went to was out of gas when we gassed up. So yeah, it's been a struggle.
It's a similar sight today. Many using this time to fill up their tanks in preparation of the impending tropical storm Bolaven, like Tamuning resident RJ Valentin.
I don't know. I heard the news that it's probably not going to hit or whatever. So I don't think people are like freaking out or anything like that. But just have to be prepared.
It's preparation to prevent what we saw immediately after Typhoon Mawar. Just months ago, long lines stretching as far as the eye could see. Hundreds waiting as much as over 10 hours just to reach the front. Some even turned away as stations ran out of fuel, like Tumon resident Dakota Camacho.
Maybe 2 or 3 days after the storm, I waited in line for 8 hours for gas, and then, 12 hours for gas, and then right as I got to the front of the line, they closed down for the night.
Now he's taking the time today to gas up and to secure the cultural center in Tamuning.
This is a neighbor's car. We're actually using this car to go get supplies for the Sagnan Katuran Chamorro, the cultural center up at Oka. So we're going to run to Home Depot now and get the supplies we can and secure SKC.
That supply run a struggle with gas stations already running out of fuel.
I just came from the 76 in Barrigada. They're out of gas except for diesel. They're out of regular gas here.
With no other options, he says he's biting the bullet and gassing up on premium gas. But the governor's communications director, Crystal Paco San Augustine, ensures there is no fuel shortage.
I was in communication with Rory Respicio from the Guam Port Authority, and he has assured me that the port is ready, that he's working closely with the fuel companies to ensure that there is an adequate amount of fuel. I also know that the Guam Police Department was already taking initiative, and they were providing that escort for the fuel trucks that were going from the port to the gas station. So
gas stations like this, 76 Circle K in Barrigada, waiting on that delivery. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Well, the rush at local stores has been going all weekend long. Continuing our team coverage on storm preps is Julian Hernandez.
Shoppers at the Home Depot in Tamuning getting storm ready in the final hours before Tropical Storm Bolaven approaches the region. After what happened during Typhoon Mawar, residents have taken steps to prepare.
I feel pretty prepared. Put up our shutters already. Now I'm just doing a little extra shopping. Filling up was one of the biggest things, I'd say. I was kind of prepared for Mawar, but I was a little more prepared for this one. Also stocking up more on food and water.
Some residents weren't even worried about the upcoming storm, like Manila resident John Horig.
I have a concrete house, so I think it's safe. We have a lot of batteries from the previous storm, and we also have generators, so I'm not worried at all.
It's not just the public taking in more preparations. Home Depot assistant manager Gerald Paulino says their store was able to provide much needed storm supplies.
We got stocked up because before the storm even hit already, they filled our containers full of things we're going to need for a storm. Unfortunately, being on the island of Guam, it takes weeks to come here compared to being stateside. So all this backstock that came was supposed to be measures for Mawar, but like I said, thank goodness we have it in the store for this unpredicted storm. We're putting everything out in customers' faces, so it's easy to come in, get what they need, and rotate customers coming in out of the store so it doesn't get too crowded.
It's the supplies that are flying off the shelves fast.
We are going to run out of generators today, extension cords as well. We have a lot of wood that just came in from the previous storm Marwar. So preparation, we have the wood, we have everything, but eventually we're going to run out, and then after that we do have vast amount of cleaning supplies to clean up the island.
Paulino adding they are ready to help for as long as safely possible.
The biggest thing we can do is stay open for our public, all right, for cleaning needs, for anti-flooding, anything else that, like what we need, they're going to need too. So trash bags, trash cans, cleanup supplies, cleaning tools, pretty much, yeah, just to prepare, and then after post-storm to help clean up.
Julian Hernandez, KUAM News.
Preparations are also underway in the southern part of Guam. Boaters at the Agate Marina using this time to secure their vessels.
Weather officials also in that same location where they launched a blimp to monitor the storm as it heads our way. Here again is KUAM's Julian Hernandez.
The calm before the storm at the Agate Marina.
In the marina itself, it's going to be very strong currents and very strong winds.
Local boater Kin Flores has been doing this for the past 3 decades. He knows all too well what happens when boats are not secured properly during a storm.
What is the first thing in your mind when it comes to securing your boat?
To get it out of the marina.
To get it out of the marina? Why is that?
Because I've been in the marina during storms, and sometimes the bilge pumps get overwhelmed with rainwater, and the boat could sink. So I don't want to take any chances.
While securing the boats was one thing happening today, Jacob Bustamante, with a local scuba company and captain of the boat Zeus, was getting in some last-minute adventure with customers. He explains the best options he takes to protect their boats.
If you are able to trailer the boat and you have a safe place to put it, then that's what you do. Trailer it, take it to your home or in your carport if you have, or garage, put it there. Otherwise, if you can't move your boat, you have to put 8 lines on either side, try and get the boat away from anything that it could hit, like space it away from the docks, put like 2 bow lines, so that's 2 lines in the front, 2 lines aft, and the aft and the stern, 2 springs, 2 aft springs. You know, that's the best that you can do to secure it, but you have to make sure that it has enough space. Storm tie your boats is the way to go. Tying up your boats, a lot of people do like joke ties, or they just don't have time, unfortunately, especially people that own there's personal boats. But make the time, because otherwise we end up with these sunken boats over there on Sea Dock and stuff like that. It's careless. So if you're going to own a boat, please make sure you stay on top of it.
These boaters sharing that other vessels that sank here during Mawar remain underwater. The U.S. Coast Guard also using this storm to remind the community that it is a bad idea to be in the water, recalling the swimmers that went missing during the typhoon back in May. The situation at the marina is one that meteorologist Brandon Adlet was eyeing today.
Damaging winds in excess of 39 miles per hour is a big concern, and that's going to have some notable effects on the waters and of course here at the marina. So if anybody has boats out here, this is the time to go ahead and make sure everything is well secured so they do not budge when the winds do pick up, especially out of the west.
Adlet and a team with the French research group Mica were also down at the marina launching a blimp called the Aero Clipper in the air. Experts say the small blimp has a large instrument halo of weather-observing equipment launched offshore with the hopes of it getting pulled in by the developing storm.
One of the big things with tropical cyclones is it's rare to get data, near ocean surface data, continually. The goal is to learn more about the very small microscale nuances within tropical cyclones, things that global weather models can't really resolve with their resolution.
A focus to learn more about tropical cyclones and to gather as much data to help in their research, along with a better understanding of these types of storms and refine some of the current weather remodeling. Julian Hernandez, KUAM News.
Thanks, Jules. Wow, that's a pretty cool blimp they got going there. I can't wait to see the results that brings back. Wait, before we go, take a quick break. Quick check-in. We got our checklist for storm preps.
Yes.
Batteries.
Batteries check.
Water.
Water check.
Gas.
Gas check.
Shutters.
She's at full tank. Shutters tonight.
Okay, I got my shutters going.
Okay.
And you secured everything, all the loose items outside?
Yes. How about you?
All done.
Great to hear. All right. Well, again, make sure to don't let your guard down, everybody.
Right.
Now is the time to prepare.
Yep, time for a quick break as well, but keep it here.
You're watching KUAM, your leaders in tracking the storm.
Watch KUAM TV 8, live on Peacock. Check out our live channel, NBC shows, live sports original programming, movies, plus so much more. Visit peacocktv.com/local or download the app and subscribe today.
do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
In 2022, the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 5 won the award for World Car of the Year. So of course, the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 6 just had to go out and win World Car of the Year for 2023. Because everyone knows how competitive sibling rivalries can be. World Car of the Year, 2 years in a row.
Let's go.
Oh, they're ready. When it comes to the good stuff,
Oh my goodness gracious.
they stay ready.
These are the two sauces, sweet and spicy jam, and the mambo.
Look how that thing drizzle on there.
The way it's glistening, stop.
Oh my.
Sweet and spicy jam and mambo sauce are on the McDonald's menu for a limited time.
Oh my goodness.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
When Mawar hit, your KUAM News team did whatever it took to get the latest storm updates on your screens and in your homes. Now we brace for Tropical Storm Bolaven, set to impact our islands at a time when we are still recovering together. Once again, you can count on us to be there when you need it most. Your news leader. Follow at KUAM News on social media and tune in to regular live updates on KUAM TV8 and TV11. Hear the latest on how you can stay prepared before, during, and after the storm on Breeze 93.9 FM. And tune into Primetime with Nick Delgado and Destiny Cruz, along with your entire news team, sharing the stories that matter to you. KUAM News, we're your leaders in tracking the storm.
Be safe, everyone. Good night.
What you need to know from the Northern Marianas. Follow KUAM CNMI on Instagram for the latest regional headlines.
Welcome back to Primetime. An emergency session today to deal with nagging financial and structural deficiencies at the hospital canceled because of the approaching storm.
Republican Minority Leader Frank Blas Jr. is pushing to fast-track his bill to provide funding to the hospital from fiscal year 2022 and 23 excess revenues.
Those amounts still need to be discussed, but what we're asking is that those monies be shifted to the Guam Memorial Hospital to help them to pay down the debt that they owe, and hopefully start to procure and obtain the equipment that is necessary they need, not just for the physical plant, but basically to be pay down vendors.
Blas also has a resolution asking the governor to declare a state of emergency at GMH, which he believes is in the midst of a fiscal and physical crisis. The hospital's woes are not new, though. Would yet another cash injection just be throwing more good money after bad?
If we're pouring good money into bad things, then what makes it bad? What can we do to fix it? What can be done to fix it, to make it to make it better? You know, one of the suggestions that I'm going to bring up is to put together a task force. Okay, so that we're not looking at building, the last task force was put together so that we can find a way to build a new hospital. Well, we need to put a task force together to fix what we have existing as a hospital.
Meanwhile, according to KUAM files, this would be the 6th emergency session convened by the legislature in the last 8 months.
Well, Attorney General Douglas Moylan is reminding businesses that they're prohibited from increasing the price of goods ahead of the possible natural disaster, such as a storm. Moylan reminding that upon declaration of condition of readiness by the governor, all retail and wholesale prices on goods shall be frozen until 72 hours after the emergency is declared over and the island returns to Core 4. Rent can be frozen for up to 120 days. Violators can be fined up to 3 times the gross profits and 5 times the amount of overcharges, whichever is greater. Complaints can be made by logging on to the Office of the Attorney General's website, that is oagguam.org, or by clicking on the action message.
And while each storm on our island faces a unique composition, intensity, and timing, one constant emergency responders always have to deal with is ensuring expectant mothers are properly sheltered. Mommies to be that are 36 weeks or later into their pregnancies are encouraged to head to the Guam Memorial Hospital and into Muning, where staff will take care of you should you need it in any changes of your barometric pressure. Here's what you need to know.
From Guam Memorial Hospital was 36 weeks pregnant or 24 weeks high risk pregnant.
So all pregnant mothers are asked to have been fed, to have a complete meal before they check into the hospital this evening, and that's at 6 p.m. Pregnant mothers are asked to bring their own clean pillows, their blankets, and their own linens. So be prepared to get comfortable and to stay comfortable and to stay bunkered down at the Guam Memorial Hospital. All pregnant mothers who need to come to GMH are asked to bring the following for their comfort and convenience: their ID and insurance cards, meals, and although meals will be provided for mothers, they're encouraged to bring additional drinking water and snacks that do not require refrigeration and heating.
And just a heads up, you will be discharged only if and when the all clear is given and Guam is returned to condition of readiness level 4.
A state of emergency declared for Guam over the weekend. Guam's Governor Lulian Guerrero and Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio have been in and out of meetings all weekend. Officials briefing the administration on the storm. The administration today sharing this video.
Hafa Day just got off our morning briefing and wanted to just say that we will continue to be in the track of condition of readiness 2. As you know, the track is now going northwest, and we wish our brothers and sisters from the CNMI the best. I just got off the phone with Governor Palacios, offered our assistance in any way we can. I just also got a call from the administrator of FEMA, Mrs. Griswold, and she also is tracking it and offers her assistance in any way possible that she can be of help, and to directly call her for any kind of assistance. We also are very concerned about still our safety and our preparation here. So please, you know the drill, you know the tips, please continue on doing so.
We still will receive damaging winds and a lot of rain. So if you have relatives or friends that are still living in conditions that are threatening, please offer support, check on them, do your best to continue to prepare for damaging winds that we will receive, and let's all hold down together. Again, I also want to extend our love and support to our brothers and sisters up north and look forward to helping them in their need, after, of course, they always help us with ours. Thank you very much. Stay in touch and in tune with all the latest updates throughout the day.
And as the island gears up for Tropical Storm Boleven, one thing on everybody's mind is the piles of trash left behind by Typhoon Mauer debris sites. Mitsuki Hirayama finds out what's being done to prevent all that trash from flying around.
There's a noticeable difference at the Tizon debris site in Barrigada. In anticipation of heavy winds, officials rushing to clear out the piles of trash over the weekend. Heavy equipment continue to roll out today, making quite a dent.
The mountains of debris are no longer mountains. Still, with metals, refrigerators, washers, and the like still lying around, the concern remains what's going to stop all this from making a mess or worse, hitting someone.
U.S. Army Corps of Engineer Public Affairs Officer Jay Woods telling us in a phone interview they're doing all they can to prevent that.
The biggest thing we've been doing, we've moved some of the debris from Tizon to Luja, and that's really helping cut down on everything.
He says they've been moving out the bigger debris since Saturday, the trash going from Tizon to the lead zone landfill, plus a telephone pole being used to weigh down potential projectiles.
Well, the big thing is, we're just trying to make sure that, everything is just not strewn all over the place. That's the big thing. And we're still moving debris out. It's not going to stop yet. We'll see how the weather is.
While Woods is unsure how many tons of trash were moved to lead zone since Saturday, you can visibly tell it's a lot.
We're still here to support Mawar, and we're going to be here till the mission is finished. So we're thankful that that the residents of Guam have been so patient with us, and we're just going to keep doing our job until we get it completed.
He adds Army Corps will continue to clean up the debris site for as long as the weather permits. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
That's the sound of bells at Santa Teresita Church in Manilao at 3 p.m. In unison with other parishes today, Apostolic Administrator Father Romeo Convocar in preparation for the storm, asking the churches to unite in prayer. After the bells were rang, a prayer was read out loud.
Fountain of love, life, immeasurable divine mercy, cover the whole world and empty yourself out upon us. O blood and water which flowed out from the heart of Jesus as a fountain of mercy for us, I trust in you.
The prayer was followed by the Divine Mercy Chaplet.
Now a quick pause on our Eye on the Storm coverage to bring some good news. Committed to helping the island and the community, the Harley owners recently made a donation to the Lighthouse Recovery Center. As part of the Salvation Army, the Recovery Center focuses on assisting individuals with substance use and co-occurring disorders by providing a drug-free and supportive living and learning environment, encouraging spiritual growth and life skills that will help with a better quality of life.
The Hog Mariana Islands chapter is a nonprofit that conducts fundraisers and donates to local and off-island charities. The group meets the last Sunday of every month and takes part in activities to promote goodwill in the community and fellowship among Harley riders. Now for a look at your world at home. Here's a view of the golden sunset captured right outside our Harmon studios.
This view plus more tomorrow music streaming now on Isla Digital Radio.
When I was just a pup, I don't wanna catch the feelings. I be trying to see what's up. I let shorty clean the pendants. I'm a diamond in the rough. Ay. First order of biz, no snitching. I try to keep it silent, but the kids don't listen. Birthday, got another hit, no flinching. And tell them send a watch that I can fit both wrists. And we used to have a silver tooth, but I was just a pup. Wanna catch the feelings. I be trying to see what's up. I let shorty clean the pendants. I'm a diamond in the rough.
Don't need to work, babe. Keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Howdy, folks. Nobody loves a Guam potluck more than I do. That's why I always bring my world-famous chicken, served any way you like it. Original recipe, extra crispy tenders, Kentucky Fried Wings, and more. Only at KFC Guam. Whoops! Well, it is finger-licking good.
When Mawar hit, your KUAM News team did whatever it took to get the latest storm updates on your screens and in your homes. Now we brace for Tropical Storm Bolaven, set to impact our islands at a time when we are still recovering together. Once again, you can count on us to be there when you need it most. Your news leader Follow at KUAM News on social media and tune in to regular live updates on KUAM TV8 and TV11. Hear the latest on how you can stay prepared before, during, and after the storm on Breeze 93.9 FM. And tune into Primetime with Nick Delgado and Destiny Cruz, along with your entire news team, sharing the stories that matter to you. KUAM News, we're your leaders in tracking the storm.
Be safe, everyone. Good night.
Want a real taste of New York? The classic New York style pizza offers a big, bold taste that's a Guam favorite. Handmade to perfection on a crust that's 30% larger than our large. It's just $11.99 for carryout. Classic New York style pizza, only at your Island Pizza Hut.
There it is. My dad went EV.
It's electric. Don't be shocked.
The guy who's eternally locked out of his email is going EV. Ooh, nice car.
Actually, it's an Ev. Rhymes with Kev. Look, EVIP parking.
I get it. You think they don't charge fast enough or go far enough.
Up to 80% charge in 18 minutes. Range? Heck, we could go to Mexico.
Are you Kevin Bacon?
But EVs aren't going to stop being a thing. Look at the Ioniq 6.
Maca mushroom frap for Kevin.
So just make the leap already.
Okay, watch this. Blue or red? Blue light, red light. I can also make it play nature sounds if you want.
Let's just drive.
Introducing the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 6 with up to 360-mile range. When it comes to EVs, we're thinking of every mile.
When Mawar hit, your KUAM News team did whatever it took to get the latest storm updates on your screens and in your homes. Now we brace for Tropical Storm Bolaven, set to impact our islands at a time when we are still recovering together. Once again, you can count on us to be there when you need it most. Your news leader. Follow at KUAM News on social media and tune in to regular live updates on KUAM TV8 and TV11. Hear the latest on how you can stay prepared before, during, and after the storm on Breeze 93.9 FM. And tune into Primetime with Nick Delgado and Destiny Cruz, along with your entire news team, sharing the stories that matter to you. KUAM News, we're your leaders in tracking the storm.
Be safe, everyone. Good night.
Stay on top of breaking news and the biggest stories of the day with NBC News Daily. Get in-depth reporting from across the country and around the world, tips to take care of your health and your wallet, and up-to-the-minute local news. NBC News Daily, weekdays on NBC.
Okay, guys, big day in news, of course. Everybody was chatting with each other. Everyone was sharing information. Good on you for doing so. And you know what? We have a centralized page that we are telling you all about any closures, postponements, delays, whatever. And this is, companies, organizations, groups, church groups, student groups, whatever. And you know what? Please let us know. Make sure to DM us at KUAM News. Make sure to send us email at reporters@KUAM.com, and we will keep you and the community informed about what's going on. Thank you for that. All right, here is what we have for News Bites today. Public Health and the Division of Children's Wellness presents the second annual Halloween Fair this Saturday from 10 to 3 at the Center Court at the Micronesia Mall. There are going to be raffle prizes, a children's costume contest, of course, because it is Halloween, entertainment, and so much more. October, if you didn't know, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and on Saturday, October 28th, Save the Susu Health Fair is going to be held. This is amazing. It's going to be held over at FD at the Phoenix Center from 1 in the afternoon until 4. It's hosted by the Guam Tiffany Lynn's Club, and the event aims to raise awareness, promote early detection, and much more. Check out Save the Susu Guam on Facebook. And the National Take Back Initiative in the CNMI is happening on the October 28th from 10 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. Yeah, the time is still the same up there. No real time zones between Guam and Saipan. If you can turn in your expired or unused medication for safe disposal and stop by the Saipan Commonwealth Center, the Rhoda Health Center, or the Tinian Health Center. Once again, we want to remind everybody, go to KUAM.com, and we've got a dedicated page. Shows you any closures, postponements, changes in hours of operation, what have you, all right? And we're talking about government agencies, private companies, nonprofit groups and everything. You guys have been really, really good about getting us the information, so keep it coming, and we are going to let our beloved community know. All right, Nick and Destiny, back to you guys with more about what's going on in Guam today.
Thanks, Jace. It's birthday wishes time.
Here's your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shout-out submitted on KUAM.com.
On this happy Football Monday, we say happy birthday to a very, very dear friend of ours, the one and only Ernest Ochoco, the Svengali, the maestro of the stage. Ernest, you have provided with endless years of entertainment, and today is your day, my friend. Have an absolutely wonderful day from your friends here at KUAM. And you know what? All the world's a stage, and we hope you are having a fantastic time on yours today, Ernest. Sky Breeze Pareja, happy birthday to Sky Breeze. Guam Adventist Academy is where she goes to school, and today is her 16th birthday, so we hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. And happy birthday to KUAM kid, kind of, Hopi. She's very, very good friends with several of the members of our staff, including me and Darby, and we are celebrating you today to love and light from your family and your friends. And Hopi, we hope you have a fantastic, fantastic birthday that is as beautiful as you.
And that's your primetime show, but thanks so much for watching. For the very latest storm coverage, visit KUAM.com and follow at KUAM News on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and X. You can also find us on TikTok at Team KUAM. For now, I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Stay beautiful, stay safe, and have a good night.